Well, the Republicans have found their new hoax. First, it was kitty litter boxes in the schools. Then they told us that the Haitian people were eating everyone's cats and dogs. And now they're saying that all of these Somalis in Minnesota are running fake, fraudulent daycares. Okay.
So guys, in today's video, we are going to talk about the Minnesota daycare story that was put out there by a YouTuber who many black people, more so the Somali Americans, have come out, and also the white Americans, they have come out and they believe all these stories are cooked up stories. So, in order for you to understand all this particular scandal surrounding the Minnesota daycare story, can we listen to these videos and then we now come back and do more reactions or analysis?
Here at Future Leaders Early Learning Center, this building received over $3 million. Hello, how are you? I would like to see if I could bring little Joey, my son little Joey here. Is there paperwork or can I check out the daycare? No? Why can't I check out the daycare? Okay, but if can I get paperwork or anything to submit my son little Joey to come in here to daycare? We'd really like to put Joey in this daycare. We've heard great things.
Business card?
No, I would like your business card actually.
We'll talk to you later.
Okay, can I speak with somebody? Where are the children at? Are there children here today?
No.
No children.
Yes.
Why are there no children?
Two of Mexico.
Would my son little Joey have friends to play with here?
No.
No.
Yes.
No friends for little Joey.
Yes. Sorry.
Dang it. Well, have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
So, little Joey would not be accepted to that daycare.
Joey's still homeless.
Joey's still looking for daycare.
And because little Joey couldn't get into a daycare, we went to an autism center, as they have been popping up everywhere as a rise of autism has occurred here in Minnesota because of the government funds that they are receiving. I tried to check my son Joey into an autism center.
We've been going to a lot of these daycare centers. We're trying to find a spot for our little boy Joey, but we thought maybe we could check him into the autism center because none of the daycare centers are open. Yeah, and how many kids do you guys have at this autism center?
I can't give you a number now.
Like more than 5?
Probably.
Probably, so you don't really know?
Yeah.
What do you guys think about like the fraud that's been labeled on the autism centers here? What do you guys do think about the fraud, or how come the autism centers are popping up?
I can't answer.
What news? Are you a news reporter?
My name's Nick. We're doing a little documentary trying to find little Joey a spot to put himself in one of these centers here, because there's
So why are you asking us about like
the fraud.
frauds and stuff like that?
Yeah, because we want to make sure we're going to legit business if we're going to bring our little boy Joey here.
This is not a Joey's spot. Yeah. But that's their number. Yeah, you have to call. But this is we can't let you guys in. So.
Okay, thank you. So once again, little Joey, he can't even go to daycare, and now they won't even accept him if he has autism.
And again, no kids. Couldn't tell you how many kids they serve. I know the answer. It's 0.
Massive fraud in the state of Minnesota, especially in Minneapolis. This daycare right here, ran by Somalians, has taken in from the Minnesota government $1.1 million. This daycare says it can hold up to 40 children. I went up to the door. The door is locked, and as you can see, the windows are blacked out. I can't hear any children inside this daycare. It's midday right now. You'd think there'd be children in there playing, being taught, but no one is in there. This daycare, within 2 years, has taken in over $2 million. The Somalians are robbing the taxpayers in Minnesota blind. This is just one daycare located in Minneapolis that are doing exactly the same thing. We've went into daycare after daycare. All the doors are locked, all the windows are blocked out, and they're raking in millions upon millions of dollars. Tim Walz's Minnesota is allowing this to go on. It's super easy to find fraud. All you need to do is go up to a door, try to open it. It's closed and there's no children. So you know these daycares, they're not full, but yet they're taking in millions of dollars every year. Let me know your thoughts on this one.
First things first, I'm actually so shocked that Trump is attacking us. I think Trump should be thanking us in multiple ways, and I'm going to explain. First things first, I think we are a good example of what the American dream can look like. Like, Somali Americans, and it's making me sad and it's funny. Like, I know Somali people are very funny. We're like the class clan who also happens to be valedictorian. Somalis in Minnesota are so successful. I take multiple trips a year to Minnesota and I leave so inspired. You have Somali-only, like, Somali-owned law firms, Somali-owned pharmacies, Somali-owned everything you can think of, and it's so inspiring to see that what my community could do in just 30 years. Literally, we came to this country not speaking English, not knowing anything. We're Black, Muslim, we're immigrant, and we're able to be that successful. It should be really applauded. Like, I need Trump to stand up and applaud for us because it's shocking. Literally, my friend just moved to Minnesota and she was telling me how when she gave birth, it was an all Somali staff. Her midwife was Somali. Her doctors were Somali. Her nurses were Somali. Like, that is so beautiful to see, and it should be celebrated, okay? Second of all, Trump, you should be thanking my people for giving a random Midwestern state that much clout and money. Like, I don't think, other than Chicago, I think Minnesota is really popping when it comes to tourism because of Somali Americans like me, okay? So you should be thanking us because Minnesota would have been nothing if Somalis didn't move there. Like, if we're being honest, like, we have made that state pop and we have made it beautiful for the rest of the world. So you should thank us, and if you want, you can donate Minnesota to the great country of Somalia. Like, I think it's a nice trade-off. And last but not least, I'm so happy that people are discovering how funny, witty Somali people are. We're very confident. And although Trump said what he had to say, like, I want him to know, Yani, like, it didn't even, like, bother. Like, it didn't do anything to our confidence. We've heard everything you've said before. People always make fun of Somalia, da-da-da. But I still think I'm better than everyone. Like, God has made me Somali Muhammad. Like, I'm okay. I'm okay. On top of that, I'm Somali American, broski. Like, I'm winning on both sides. But yeah, it's just nice to see that everyone's realizing Somali people are very funny, very confident. And that's never going to change. It has not changed since colonial days, baby boy. And it's not going to change because somebody right now decided to make fun of us. We're actually winning the war, so. But yeah, that's all I have to say.
We have some pretty bad news for Nick Shirley. The Minnesota daycare fraud narrative has been debunked even more. He went to one of these daycares in Minnesota, knocked on the door, and then tried to claim there was no kids inside. However, surveillance footage from that same day that's time-stamped shows children being dropped off right before he went there. Take a look.
According to the timestamps in the videos, this woman takes a young child into the center at around 9 a.m. that day, about 3 hours before Shirley arrives at the door closer to the street. Within the hour after Shirley leaves, a woman arrives at the other door with a stroller. A larger family heads inside a few hours later.
That footage alone undermines the entire narrative that he's been so desperately pushing for the past few days. It's important to note that he did not act alone. According to reporting and one of the employees at the scene, this guy showed up with 8 masked men and cameras asking to check in a child. The staff did not let him in because they had never seen him before. Any responsible childcare facility would have done the exact same thing. This is basic child safety and common sense. You don't let 8 masked men with cameras into a daycare facility. The owner also explained that heightened fear around ICE operations taking place in the area played a role. Regardless though, Nick Shirley has been exposed time and time again for missing context, selective filming, and spreading deliberate misinformation designed to provoke outrage.
I'll tell y'all again, leave Somalians alone, okay? Leave them alone. I don't care that they created daycare businesses with no kids. I don't care that they said that their children were autistic and ain't a spectrum within that child's eye. We need to flip the script and focus on the real fraudsters, or the Europeans, and we're going to start with them Jews. And the only reason why they don't focus on it enough is because they run the media. Okay, did you see what these Jews did in Lakewood, New Jersey? Okay, they hit them folks on the head with millions of dollars. They were making millions of dollars, but still reaping benefits of welfare, housing authority, SNAP, you name it. Baby, they had it. And it's really unfortunate because now it's on hold. So for the people who really need the services, they can't get it because of these scamming Europeans. Okay, we need to amplify that, and let's not worry about our Somalian sisters and brothers, okay? Leave them alone. Leave them alone.
Dude, you can't make this up. Like, everyone knows Somalians stealing billions of dollars. Everyone thought they were going to get arrested. And then according to this Polymarket chart, 40% of those people don't even think that's going to happen anymore. But today we're talking about Nokomi's Daycare, a Somalian-owned daycare in Minnesota currently under investigation for defrauding taxpayers. And they were robbed last night, believe it or not. The manager of the daycare had this to say.
Yesterday morning, I was called by the owner because unfortunately someone came in to our daycare. We looked and saw what happened, and we saw that the suspect came in from the back, broke in from the back kitchen, and he also destroyed the wall to come in. As we walked around the daycare, we saw that our office doors was broken into as well. We saw that, unfortunately, there was important documentation, enrollment of the children, and also employee documentation that was gone. There were also checkbooks that were ripped from our check papers that were ripped from our book. This is devastating news.
And then the burglar screamed, "This is MAGA country," and Obama was there, and everybody clapped. Trust me. Isn't that interesting? The people who robbed the place didn't take money. You know, they didn't take any of the stuff that robbers usually steal. They just conveniently happened to take all of the books, all of the parental records, all of the financial records. That's what these robbers were after. How convenient. And then that's the only record they had. They had one physical copy. That was it. It wasn't backed up to computers or anything. Although, granted, they do have an average IQ of 68, so it's not outside of the realm of possibility that they just maybe don't know how to use computers. But do they think that everybody in the world shares the same average IQ as them? Because who's believing this?
Well, the Republicans have found their new hoax. First, it was kitty litter boxes in the schools. Then they told us that the Haitian people were eating everyone's cats and dogs. And now they're saying that all of these Somalis in Minnesota are running fake, fraudulent daycares. Okay. Well, I watched the entire 45-minute Nick Shirley YouTube video, and I can tell you with absolute certainty that Nick didn't uncover or really investigate anything. Okay, walking up to a building that's obviously closed and saying, "Hey, why aren't there any people inside? Fraud!" That's not an investigation. That's just a dude rolling up to an establishment that's closed, right? At one point, Nick is just driving in his car and he drives past a building and points at it and says, "Oh, they received $4 million and I don't see any footprints in the snow outside." Is that your investigation, Nick? Is when you drive past a building in your car and quickly look outside, you didn't see any footprints in the snow? But this is how easy it is to trick Trump supporters. They will believe anything that makes an immigrant look bad. Anything. Like, remember when Elon was doing Doge and they were finding all this fraud that not a single person was arrested for, but they found so much fraud, right? At one point, Elon was on stage and he was like, "Guys, look at all this fraud. Joe Biden gave millions of immigrants social security numbers." And the Republicans were like, "Oh," even though Elon himself was an immigrant who received a social security number, because we give them to immigrants who come here to work so they can pay taxes. And Elon knew that, and yet he still stood on that stage and said, "Guys, fraud!" And they just believed it immediately. But it doesn't surprise me that Republicans are going back to the drawing board and coming up with more hoaxes about immigrants, because this is all they have. Trump can't talk about the economy. He already tried sending the military into a bunch of blue cities to arrest Antifa's girlfriend, and nobody gave a shit about that. So now they have to go back to scaring the shit out of their base when it comes to immigrants. This is all they have. Anyway, Happy New Year's, guys. Have fun tonight. Be safe. I love you, and we'll talk to you soon. All right.
Thank you. Thank you so much, guys, for listening. And as you can see, so much is opening up. So many truths are coming out. If you listen to the stories, number one, this was just a YouTuber from California, that is Nick Shirley. And from the way people are saying, or from the reactions here, it is likely that this guy is a pro-MAGA guy, because how comes he was going around around Minnesota? And recently, Minnesota has been in the news for all the bad stories, and it's the president who started this particular beef from Omar, the congresswoman, and now they even want her to be removed. I don't know if they will manage. So so many Americans believe that the Somali community in America is they are stealing, they are defrauding the government, and it's at their expenses. So, my good people, Somalians are like, the president should thank us in the first place. And that is because if it wasn't for the Somali community, Minnesota wouldn't be where it is at the moment. It is really good in terms of businesses, and all these businesses are Somali owned. And the president now, they're trying to find a way to actually chase them out of America. So the Nokomis daycare scandal, as I had already told you, it started from a YouTuber who was just going around these particular daycares in Minnesota and peeping through the window and was like, there are no children in here. And that is the story that he was trying to put outside there, to appear as if these daycares are defrauding the government of America. Remember, there are so many social departments in America that truly support immigrants, the people of America, and so many other things. So from that particular video, can you imagine that the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, they quickly responded, even without investigation, without knowing the truth. They responded quickly by freezing what we call federal child care payments. Remember, the government supports these daycares. So they froze everything, the funding. But again, we have something that we call Project 2025. And this particular project, if you read that particular book or everything that has been written there, they are saying that, they are actually planning to defund childcare. So, what are the stories that are likely to come up in order for them to stop funding the childcare department or the childcare institutions in America? So they had to send someone to take videos, and probably big YouTubers like Nick to go take videos and show the world that for real these daycares, they don't have children. And he actually went at specific times when there were no children. And this particular, the system in America works. When they tell you that you are opening from this time to around, and like for 2 hours or 3 hours, it's like that. Their system works. Unlike in Africa, where when I tell someone, let us meet at 2 p.m., trust you me, you'll meet at 4 p.m. Our systems here, it doesn't really work. So state officials responded harshly, and it's really sad that they are so harsh on the Somali community at the moment, and they have opted even to stay indoors. They're not doing their businesses. So Black Americans, Somali Americans, white Americans, they have jointly come out. They are trying to analyze this particular story. But again, it is so shocking that that particular daycare, they came out, did a press, and said that their daycare was broken into, and specific documents taken, documents that had children that had enrolled into the institution. Number two, they had taken documents for the staff, they had taken checkbooks, probably they had been paid by the government. So those are the critical documentation that they took, and now they need them to provide the particular documentation that the robbers took or that was stolen, which doesn't make sense. And why did they even have to break into that particular institution? It's funny, right? But anyway, as much as Somalians were really fighting for themselves, and they were saying that if it was not for Somalians, then Minnesota wouldn't be like that. Some were telling them, then why don't you go to Somalia and make yourself successful? Then you don't really have to come to Minnesota and say all these things that you should be respected and all that. So I can tell you that at the moment there has been massive impact, be it positive, negative. There has been massive impact for providers and families in America that depend on childcare, institutions or daycare institutions. And number one is that some of these institutions have actually introduced stricter documentation rules and scrutiny. And that is to ensure that all these institutions are actually legit, genuine, and they are not defrauding the government of America. Because what the president is doing now is actually trying even to tell the immigrants that, what, if you are going to self-deport, then I'm gonna give you $3,000. But there is no way that any immigrant in America can self-deport, because they actually have better life there. I watched a video of an Haitian lady. I will say she has been in the America. She has been in America for 42 good years. She went there when she was 5 years old, and then unfortunately the parents or the guardians never did paperwork, so she has never been in America legally. So when Trump came into office and formed the ICE department that is meant to look for the undocumented people in America and deport them, unfortunately, she was part of them, because at some point and time in her life, she had been arrested. And systems there, as I told you, it works. So she was found, deported back to Haiti, and she had never been back to Haiti for the 42 years. So it was really difficult for her, because there, I mean, things are backward economically, infrastructurally, and just everything, even the way of life. It was really hard, and she was actually asking for help. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. If you watched the video up to this point, I appreciate your presence. Kindly comment down below what you think about the video. I appreciate your presence, and I'll see you in the next video.